Hey guys, it's Dan, your host of your Dan's Reviews, and today I'm back for another Walking Dead video for today. This one is going to be doing my final review for the Walking Dead comic book series, and I mean ever, because after seeing this issue, after reading this issue, finally got the chance to see this issue and actually read it all the way through, this is the end of the Walking Dead, and I can't believe it. It's come out of nowhere. You know, I feel like I'm Rick right now in a coma. You know, like I feel like this isn't real. What I've been seeing for the last 48 hours isn't real. So, you know, I just want to kind of do a review, raw reaction, but also give my thoughts on this absolutely incredible issue to end the Walking Dead comic book series. So this is going to be a long video. I know it will be, but how could I not do just a really in-depth review for this absolutely mind-blowing last issue of the Walking Dead comics? So I decided to use the picture of the issue for this one, and plus I'm still arranging stuff with the new background and stuff. I'm just kind of fixing some things. So that background will be back probably in a couple days or so. But anyway, I want to get into this issue. This is an absolutely crazy issue. We have issue 191, issue 192, and definitely another one I have to pick up today is issue 193. So absolutely crazy stuff. Could not be more happy with this issue, though, to be honest with you. So people are always disappointed with the ending of a series. Every time a series ends, people are disappointed. With Game of Thrones, with now The Walking Dead, I've already seen some complaints. I don't see any of those complaints. This was an absolutely amazing issue from the beginning to end, and it was such a shock for me when I actually started reading this issue. And spoiler warning if you haven't read this issue yet, because I'm going to get into it right now. We see Carl, but like way in the future, and it's really crazy to see. And I still am just processing this issue, but we get to see an older version of Carl, which is something people have always wanted to see, and something I thought would go on longer, and it would not just be for one issue. But they're ending it now, and honestly, I'm seeing why. Because in this issue, it's civilization. It's civilization. Carl, you know, and him almost being, you know, thrown in jail, and then there's a court, and there's this and that. It's so different, and there's literally only one zombie in the entire single issue, and that plays a huge part into this issue. And this was a zombie. You know, I know people were kind of saying, is it Negan and this and that? Negan is in this issue, but he's not. He's barely in it, you know? So, in terms of this right now, I just want to say this is an absolutely crazy issue, and to get into it right away, you know, we get to see Carl kill the zombie at first, and I was just pretty excited at this point in time in the issue, but also kind of confused. And then we get to see that him and Sophia have had a kid. Him and Sophia are together, not him and Lydia, which I found kind of surprising. They've had a kid together, and they call her Andrea, which I found really cool as well. Of course, Carl is, you know, I mean, he's really trying to listen to what Rick was, you know, saying, which is kind of restart civilization. And they've really done that. You know, we even get to see in this issue, you know, we get to see Carl kill the zombie, but then that's when the trouble, you know, starts, because we get to see, Maggie and Glenn's baby, Herschel, who he's aged, you know, a lot in this issue. And it definitely, I'm going to have to say, this is definitely at least over 20 years later. At least. You could say it's more, and I could even agree with you there, but it's at least 20, probably 20 some years after the death of Rick. It has to be, because if you look at the age of, you know, Herschel, Maggie's kid, and Carl, and just, you know, and the fact that their kid Andrea is, you know, now 6 years old, so it has to be somewhere around that. There's no way it's not, you know, but I really like it because, you know, when Maggie's kid finds it, which she's like a spoiled brat, you know, we get to find that out in this issue too. Maggie's, you know, never said no to him once. He's probably never heard the word no. I think I heard somebody say. So, I mean, you know, it's true. You know, he really doesn't act like Glenn at all. He just acts like he doesn't really act like any of his parents. He just acts like really, you know, really ridiculous, and a lot like people like Spencer or Sebastian or this and that. He acts like, he's mad that Carl killed the zombie, and they go to court and all this kind of stuff. Carl wins, of course, in the end. He's taken to court, and he wins because Michonne's there. And I really like Michonne's speech at the part 2, talking about how everything was before and how things are so much different now, but we can never forget how things were. Really just crazy stuff relating all the way back to the beginning of the series with the famous Rick Grimes, which I actually like how they did that, because in season 9, Rick was like famous in the Sanctuary, but like right now in the comics, Rick is like way more famous in the TV show just at the Sanctuary. He is like known all over the place. Everybody knows who Rick is. Literally every single person, even the newborns, know who Rick is, So, I really like that as well. That's a really, really cool thing to think about as well. But we have that, and then just the issue carrying on through with the court, Michonne, and of course Michonne not having her sword. Carl has the sword, and kind of Michonne letting that part of her go, And I really like that we get to see at the end of this issue so many scenes, so many scenes. We get to see Sebastian. He's way older in the cell still. We get to see Eugene, which I think was just really crazy to see. He's way older. Stephanie is dead, which I also, that's something to kind of mention as well. We get to see, Lydia and him and Carl kind of go off as well. And we could tell, she still has feelings for Carl, but she's with this other guy too. She wants Carl to take his eye patch off. And I'm just like, oh my God, you guys remember that issue, But Carl wears the eye patch because he doesn't want, Andrea, their kid, Carl and Sophia's kid, Andrea, to not really see the eye, and kind of let, just kind of not really, let her see that, because she's young, she's only 6, and really seeing that, it would be kind of, maybe not traumatizing for her, but it would just, something that Carl doesn't really want to show his kid yet. So, we have that, and then we have, the Commonwealth, which is, doing really, really good. We have Maggie, who's, one of the, I forget what they called her, but, she's like one of the leaders. She, like, really calls the shots and stuff. But in terms of that, and in terms of Carl, and even getting to see, even to the point where they have, like, a Rick statue in the town, which I found really cool to see, and they really focused on it for a little while there, too. Really just crazy stuff, but, in terms of that, I mean, getting to see the Rick statue, that's something that that was almost one of the things I kind of thought they would do, but at the same time, not really, because I didn't think they would have skipped this much time, but I just love this ending, and especially, I have to talk about, the ending, because it's like everybody's off and everything, everybody's older and stuff. We get to see Jesus and Aaron, Magna Numiko, we get to see Eugene, we get to see Maggie, she's older, her kid, Herschel, who he's just a brat, and even to the point where we get to see him and Carl have a conversation after the court, after the the session and stuff is done, and we get to see them kind of talk, and he's like, I never got to meet my father. Your father's famous. There's a statue of him in the town. There was never a statue of my father in the town. Of course, referring back to Glenn. And it really, you really just kind of notice that he really did grow up really bad, because, look at him now. He's treating everybody like crap, treating Carl like crap, and, definitely becoming the little Sebastian himself, that Herschel. So, and in terms of Sebastian, I mean, he's still just locked up. So, I'm just really surprised on how things went. We even get to see Lucille's grave. Negan made a Lucille grave. We get to see, Carl knock on the door, too. So I'm like, Negan's back, too. So there's a lot of stuff to kind of, think of. And there's so much just packed into this issue. But, to go over the end real quick, I love how this was done, because you have Carl reading the story, and I was so sad at this part, because they talked about Rick and how one day, the zombie apocalypse broke out, everybody started losing their minds, it changed people drastically, and even to the point where this man Rick Grimes, he almost kind of lost himself too, but he brought everybody together. All the enemies became friends, all the people just kind of came together, and that's a good example of what happened with Negan, you know. And we get to see that Rick really did, you know, change things for the greater good, because now it's like it's civilization, you know. All these places, the Commonwealth and the Hilltop and this and that. Earl is, you know, way older and stuff, and we just get to see that the world and just the type of world that Rick was trying to build in this entire series has finally actually happened. You know, you see the communities, you see how everybody's doing, and it's just normal. It's normal. There's nothing different. There's one zombie in this issue, and it's a big deal because it sounds like zombies are really barely a thing anymore, because they've just died out from so long of just the world being the way it is, that zombies aren't really as much of a threat anymore, you know, because they're so decayed, and at this point most of them are just, they don't even exist anymore. So it's just really cool to see. There's still some people I've already seen mad about, you know, certain things, like what, you know, like we never got to know what started the zombie apocalypse or things like this, but I just love it. It's just cool. And really, for a comic book series, you know, I have to say, as much as people might complain about it, I view this as a really good end for the Walking Dead comics. So there it is. There is the end of The Walking Dead, and I still cannot believe it's here. But I mean, definitely we're gonna do some videos on it. This is just a review, but I want to hear, have you guys read the issue? And if you have, please comment down below. We're gonna discuss, I might even do another video later on today just about the Walking Dead comic book series. We'll do another video probably. So definitely, but or at least tomorrow at latest. But you know, the comics are done. What now? The TV show is looking really bright, but the comics are done. So definitely we're gonna have to see how this goes. But crazy stuff. Really looking forward to seeing what you guys are thinking about this. I'm gonna get this uploaded for you guys. This is my last Walking Dead comic review. So anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Of course, if you're new here, click that subscribe button so you don't miss any of my Walking Dead videos, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.